4 skills. That's all I'd like to talk about. First one, get calm and stay there. If anybody does anything leaving here and you pick up one thing from this, learn how to do this. And it sounds silly, it's all about the breathing, because when you're calmer, you're more controlled, right? So how do you do it quickly? The breathing. Lots of different ways to do it, but you can do it in game, in interview, anytime. And nobody has to know that you're doing it either, because if you get your breathing under control, it matches your emotions, right? There's no way you can be fired up and angry, right, and feel calm. I mean, if your behavior is all over the place, check your breathing to get your behavior back down. Now, I won't go into all the different ways that you can do this, but the biggest one for me is having people be able to breathe it out like in 5 seconds so they can get to themselves. And this past 2 weeks, I think I've had 6 professional athletes talk about, oh my gosh, breathing is saving me. That's the one thing they do, because if they can do that, they can get to their skills. In fact, I got a text. This guy was at Baltimore Ravens after the last game, and he said, all I got was, breathe, baby, breathe. That was it. So it's working for him. Okay? Easy skill to do, and you don't have to practice it all day long either. It's really just about slowing things down, exhaling things out, getting the shoulders down. It works. It's foul line too, it works. Okay, skill number 2, forget how you feel. It's about what you do. And I'm terrible because I end up telling my clients, look, I don't care how you feel, I care what you do. Well, I do care how you feel, but not right now. So it's all about figuring out what your performance cues are in the moment. And you have to pre-plan this stuff. Otherwise, it's pretty difficult to get to in the moment. So what I'm talking about performance cues, it's, again, what you do. What do you do at the plate as a baseball player? I was doing a talk to Washington Nationals in the clubhouse, and I'm walking out with one of the coaches who had won a couple of batting titles in the day, and he said, I finally realized what I could do. And he said, I never thought I would amount to anything. I was too small, I wasn't that good, but I got these batting titles because I could do the do. So he was able to stay in it in the plate to hit through the ball or whatever he did. But that was the one thing he could do naturally, or he figured out that's what's going to get me somewhere. So you've got to figure out what your cues are. If it is an interview, sitting up straight, relaxing, looking at the interviewer, listening to the question, those are cues. If it's hockey, moving your feet, finishing your checks, etc. Basketball, you got to get that elbow up if you're going to get the ball where you want it to, correct? Okay, good. Okay. So again, super important to figure out what those things are, technical, tactical. People think, well, I'm not supposed to think when I'm performing. I'm just supposed to go. It's supposed to be automatic. No, it's not. If it is, if it happens to be one day, great. Do not count on that. Do not leave it to chance. Have something to go to in the moment. Now, self-talk. Everybody talks about self-talk too. There's 2 parts to it. Facts list. I want people to have a list of things that they've accomplished, things that they've done well, things that got them to where they are, whether it's education or trophies or good feedback from people. Write those down. It's, again, sounds, oh no, that sounds cocky and silly. No, people forget about all the good stuff and they just go right to, well, I should be better, I should be better. No, I've had Olympians write this down, have the list, and then the week before the competition, look at it every day just to sort of ground them for that day so they can get on with things. It's actually very important. Second part of self-talk is smart talk. Are you negative? How are you talking to yourself? Should you be talking through your event? Sure. Beach volleyball, world champion, silver medal world champion. She's talking all the way through herself, through the competition, because she's trying to keep herself on track. Otherwise, she's going here and going there, or she'll think about, missing that serve or something else going on in the stands. So talking your way through something's very helpful. Okay? If you find that your self-talk is a little negative, going into some pressure moment, take the time beforehand to actually write out something that's more productive or constructive. It doesn't have to be positive, just constructive. I'm not big into that it has to all be positive, because negative talk can actually give you some good information too. But when you're out there, it's got to be something to do that's constructive. Last skill, daydreaming. We do it anyway, so why not make it work? Focused daydreaming is very helpful. Now, people talk about imagery and visualization, sure, but that usually people think that I've got to sit here for an hour and think it through and get pictures in my head. You don't. You do have to get a picture in your head if you can, but it's just mental rehearsal, 5-second clip of what you want to do, a skill you're trying to get better at, maybe being more calm and composed, maybe where you want to get to eventually. Billie Jean King would always tell me, well, I did this all the time. She would make up different counter shots to something that was completely impossible, but she would do it anyway, just to get the practice in. There's so much research on why this works that I'm not even going to bother with it. But even the research I'm involved in still at U of T with medicine, we're looking at how this helps in terms of training surgical residents. And we found that actually, if they do the mental training, mental prep too, makes a difference. So they're better prepared, they're doing better, and they're calmer. So if it works for them, I figure it works for us too, right? Okay, so those are the 4 skills. You don't have to do all 4, just pick one and try it.